Hey, how's it going? I'm Matt, the creator of Orion, the first AI life Copilot. The idea of Orion is to take all of your goals, put them on a single panel of glass, and then use the power of AI to decompose them into habits and tasks, and then check yourself as you mark those completed and watch your progress over time as you get closer to your goals. One of the great things about Orion is this AI Life Copilot feature where I get AI insights each morning from the AI. And basically, what I do is I pass it my journals, which are in the app, my habit completion data, my task completion data, and then it sends back some advice. And it'll typically start with some attaboys, and then it'll give me some constructive criticism, and then it'll end with some habits and tasks it thinks I should add to my daily routine. And one of the reasons I'm sharing this with you is because two things. One, it's basically telling me, hey, since you're already creating content where you're going over Orion, why don't you also hype your other Substacks that you're working on? I have three other Substacks, right? Mastering Revenue Operations. That's all about business. And then I've got Wealth Systems.ai. That's related to wealth management, investments, and making money. And then LifeInTheSingularity.com. That's all related to technology and the growing power of AI. So, basically the AI system was like, hey, while you're recording these videos, you should go ahead and hype your Substacks too, your media company. Check. Um, the other thing it keeps telling me to do is to implement a weekly review and planning session. So it's basically telling me, hey, you've got a habit where you go through and kind of decompose what happened yesterday and plan ahead. Why don't you turn this into a practice? Well, this is funny because I'm currently developing for paid users of Orion a weekly planning feature where basically AI will look at your goals, look at what you got done last week, look at what you've journaled about wanting to get done this week, and then it will come up with a list of things you should do this week and even suggest kind of time blocks and give you some strategies and tactics to get those things done. So it's kind of taking it to the next step. So not just seeing your goals, not just tracking your habits, but actually getting some proactive help from the AI to figure out how to, take those big chunky goals and turn them into small milestones. So it's funny that the AI is thinking about a feature that I'm already working on adding. So that's awesome. And then, as I said, it ends with an attaboy and a couple of positive things. The great thing is you can see your progress over time. So you can see how consistent you're being with your habits. You can see if you have a day where you miss, checking your habits or miss completing your habits, even worse than that. And then you can check your point statistics or this week versus next week and this month versus last month, and look at where you stand in the leaderboard and look at kind of like your almost like an RPG, like a role playing game element, but you're leveling up your real life based on getting your habits and your tasks completed. And it's a great place to just come and look at your goals and remind yourself what you're building towards, and then seeing how the habits that you're executing and the tasks that you're building toward, it's how they really align. And if you ever need some additional insight into what you're working towards, you can click over here into the council and you can just ask for some help, like, all right, so I'm going to ask Mr. Toughlove for some help. Now, Mr. Toughlove is well named. He's probably going to tell me to get my S together and start working a little bit more diligently than at a high level. Yeah. So it's telling me basically I'm trying to build an empire and I shouldn't be thinking about tips. I should be thinking about being cutthroat and zeroing in on massive opportunity. And so, you can go back and look at your history of all your engagements with any of these advisors, which is a really great tool. Of course, you have a daily journal. You can go back and read previous journal entries and see kind of what you're working towards at certain points in your life. And then similarly with those AI insights that I was just sharing with you, you can go back and look at previous insights, and get a sense of what the AI has told you in the past and how does that track versus what your objectives are. So that's the point of Orion. It's to be, all of your goals and habits and tasks and journal entries living in a single panel of glass, exposing it to AI, and having a partner in crime to help you get from where you are to where you need to be. That's the point of Orion. Have a good morning.